Alright everyone, welcome to episode number 55 of Everyday Thoughts, and let's get straight into it. So starting off with probably something I might have already talked about, I'm not 100% sure, but if I have, then that's unlucky. I'll just say it again. Having something you're doing and labeling it as I can't do it automatically just puts your brain into mode that thinks, okay, this is not important, I can forget about this, it has no relevance, I don't have to spend any more thought about it. Or, yes, just spend more time thinking about it and solving anything. But on the other hand, if you ask yourself, how can I do it? You will find yourself being in a mode where you're more thinking about the thing, and you're actually, since you're asking yourself a question, you're trying to find a solution for that question, and that way you're trying to solve a problem. So if there's anything that you can do, but you want to do it, don't just say to yourself, oh, I can't do this anyway. Ask yourself, how can I do this? And you will find a way to do it. Then moving on, quite classical, or quite classic, I think every one of you has probably heard this by now, but I'm just gonna say it again. Being broke is temporary, but being poor is eternal. And this doesn't just translate to finances, but I think this translates to just overall lookout on life in general. It's also very closely connected to the thing I just talked about with thinking about not being able to do something, which is basically that if you have a setback and you drop down to zero, it's as if you are broke, but you can, if you have the mindset to get back from it, then you will find a way to get back from it. But if you're poor, you will just have if you're poor, you probably just have the mindset of, oh well, I can't afford this, so I can't do this. So it's quite closely linked, and I think it's very important to keep that in the back of your mind. And then what I found really interesting is something also which is so obvious, but like a lot of things that are so obvious, they're so obvious to the point that you just wouldn't come to the idea of it because it's just so obvious. And that is, active learning is a lot more efficient than just passively taking on knowledge. So what I mean by this, for example, yesterday I didn't do a video because I had a insane 14-hour shift where I was managing shit. It was crazy, but I learned so much throughout those 14 hours that after that I just had the feeling I could go for 10 more without any rest or anything. It just felt like I had energy out of nowhere again. Closely linked to a circadian rhythm, I'd say, but still it was actually crazy. But during that time period, I just learned so much more than if I would just have read something. So what I take from this is that knowledge is good, learning is extremely important, reading books is also very good, even if you're just passively absorbing the knowledge. The thing is that you have to use what you learn into practice so that you actually get a benefit from it and actually learn it. Because if you just learn it, well, you're gonna forget it, and it's not really gonna have any use to you. But it's also the reason I have this channel, because when I read something, I have to write it down, I have to go through it again, I'm doing repetitions, so first of all, I'm learning from that, and second of all, I'm doing something practical where I'm sharing what I've read and interconnecting it with different aspects that I've learned or whatever, and that way I do these videos and I simultaneously learn by doing them. And that's also, it's just such a overused quote, I even say, just trial and error. Well, no shit, but if you just, that's the thing, you know what it means, but there's a bit difference between knowing what it means in the sense of being being able to tell what the definitions mean, but being able to know what it actually means in the so-called practical world is something so different, and is exactly what is so interesting about the difference between just passively learning and absorbing information and actually doing the things. So obviously, go out there, do things, always preaching this, since it's just so much more valuable, and it will just benefit you by so much more, because you can get the knowledge and apply it, and then there's always going to be like a sort of click moment where like, oh, so that's what it is meant. Oh, okay, I see now. So yeah, this is basically it for today. It's a shorter video a bit, but it's okay. I hope you had fun and you could take something from this video, and I'll see you tomorrow. See ya.